So the Premier League is nearly underway, but which team will finish where? Right, so we're kicking it off at the bottom, relegation. Which three teams will be relegated? I think this is quite a tough one because you have the likes of the newcomers, Norwich, Watford, Brentford. You've also got Burnley, Brighton, Newcastle. Teams like that who you know will be in and around that area. But for me, I've gone 20th, rock bottom, Watford. The cycling GK, Ben Foster's Watford. Unfortunately, I think they will be relegated. 20th as well. This is because I think the signings that they've made haven't really made too many. They've got Danny Rose, who's came in, experience there, but he's a bit old now, isn't he? Left back. He's going to bring in experience, but overall, not the greatest of footballers at the moment. They've got Ismail Sarr, who they've managed to keep. He's been amazing, and if he can survive, he will definitely carry on and keep them up. They used to be decent when they finished 8th that season with Dale Feo, Decore, all them sorts of players. They ended up selling them and getting rid, and now they are not the team they used to be. So for me, they finished 20th. Then we're moving on to 19th, and it's Norwich City. Now, Norwich have actually made decent signings. They've signed Gilmore on loan, Rashika, and they've just recently signed Sargent. Their signings this season in the Prem seem a lot better to when they was first back in the Prem. So I could see them maybe touching the escape, but I just can't see it because Norwich are that team that are yo-yoing up and down constantly. And for me, the likes of Brighton, Burnley, Newcastle, they have the experience and the quality to just stay ahead of them points-wise. And then we're going into 18th place, a team that I've just mentioned, Sean Dyche's Burnley. Unfortunately, I think it's time to say goodbye to Sean Dyche. I think Burnley could get relegated. Out of the teams, Brighton, Burnley, Newcastle, maybe even Southampton, I just feel that Burnley, the lack of investment, it's going to catch up to them eventually. Sean Dyche has bailed them out constantly, but I just don't think this time. You could see an injury to Chris Wood, and that would be it. They've got obviously Dwight McNeil, but can he do it all on his own? I think them two are the most important players. You've also got Nick Pope as well. They can keep clean sheets, and it will be a close contest, I feel, for that last relegation place of either between Norwich, Brighton, maybe Newcastle or Burnley, because I think Norwich won't be too far away from the safety, but I just feel that they don't have the minerals to survive. Anyway, now we are going on to the big boys, the top four. Now, this is the place where I don't really know which team's going to finish where. There's 4 teams that are pretty much going to get top 4, but I've interchanged the top 4 constantly about 3 or 4 times. Who's going to win it? Who's going to finish 4th? It's really hard. But 4th place, I've gone Man United. And the reason for that is they've made great signings, Varane, Sancho, but they lack that CDM where they're going to have to still play McTominay and Fred. 2 CDMs which are kind of taking up one position. It should be one player, one world-class CDM in that position so they can have another great player in another position. They've obviously got Wan-Bissaka right back as well, who's great at tackling and stuff, but he drifts out a lot and the back post gets exposed so much because of him. So I feel they will have that issue still, obviously. Luke Shaw, Varane and Maguire, really good, and Varane is a massive upgrade to Lindelof, and I feel like they will get a few more clean sheets, but the competitiveness of the top 4, I think, is just going to go up another level. It's going to be an insane season, and so Man United, on another year, they probably would win the Prem, but this year, I just feel that out of the 4, they're the ones who might not keep as many clean sheets because of the likes of Wan-Bissaka's errors and the CDMs. Fred, they're not that good. And you've got Cavani, who is a great goal scorer, but he's obviously aging, could pick up an injury, and then you fall on Martial, who realistically, is he that good? There's talks about him going on loan and stuff. You've obviously got Rashford, who's out until October with his surgery, so that goal scorer as well, if Cavani's not fit, and he'll be played in Europa League like he did last season occasionally, so they need to kind of figure a fix out for that, and that's why, for me, they finished 4th. Then we're going on to 3rd place. Now, this is controversial. It's the final decision that I've made, but the reason is at the moment, they haven't got a goal scorer. They could go and sign you-know-who, Mr. Harry Kane, but I've put Manchester City first. Who would have done that? Probably not many people. A load of people have predicted them to win the league, but for me, without a striker, they're going to have to try and rely on De Bruyne, Gundogan, Foden having amazing goal scoring season. Gundogan was their highest goal scorer in the Prem last season. Is he going to have the same season? I don't think so. Jack Grealish, he's a brilliant player, but he's not a goal scorer. He'll provide. Who's he going to provide for? Gabriel Jesus? Not the quality for me. And De Bruyne, I think he can carry City at times, and he'll be brilliant, but I can't see that many goals within the team. Like, yeah, a player might get 10 or so. Sterling, for City, he just seems to not be as good as he is for England. For me, As it currently stands, Manchester City could finish third. As I've said, I feel like the top four is going to be really competitive and it's going to be a few points in between, so they could easily go second. They could easily win it if they get Harry Kane, especially. If they get Harry Kane, for me, they win the league because Harry Kane will bang in 30 goals a season. As well, their defence, if, say, they lose Bernardo Silva, Laporte, all these players, their squad depth lowers, and it could be a problem if a Diaz got injured. Who are they going to put in then? Ake, he made a mistake on the weekend, so he's not that trustworthy. So for me, as it currently stands, City go third. And now the top two, who's going to win it? There's the two teams for me, Chelsea, Liverpool. Liverpool haven't really made too many signs of signing Canate, that's it, but they've got back their full squad. Chelsea look dangerous, and for me, I've put Liverpool second, and the reason for this is recently Andy Robertson's got injured. Obviously, he'll be out for a couple of games. They've got an easy start, so they should win all them. But the main factor is the injuries of the players, because Thiago got injured before pre-season, and I think they switched medical coaches the year as they won the league. So last season and this season coming up, they have a different medical team, which seem to not be dealing with the players as well. The conditioning might be different, I don't know, but I feel like Liverpool will pick up slightly more injuries than they did them 3 seasons, but I can still see them having a good season. You've got to think of Anfield back in its raw, full force. That's going to be a massive factor to helping Liverpool maintain a good season. And yeah, obviously the run came to an end, but it will be back up and running. I'm pretty sure Liverpool will probably go unbeaten at Anfield again this season. I feel like, especially if they get it right, if they don't get any injuries, they can definitely win the league. But it's just because of last season what happened. You're unsure. Van Dijk back, Canate there, Trent, Robertson when he's had his ankle better. They are a team to be reckoned with, and a lot of people are seeing Liverpool as an underdog, I feel, because of what happened last season, but they can definitely go and win the league. Just at the moment with the injuries, they probably need to buy one more player, either an attacker or a midfielder, to fill that Gini Wijnaldum hole or help Jota, Mane and Salah and Firmino. So yeah, for me, they go second, which means the winners of 2021-2022 season, I think, are going to be Chelsea. And the reason for this is Thomas Tuchel came in at Lampard mid-season, didn't make a single transfer signing, and managed to win the Champions League and get them top 4. Top 4, though, they did just get in by the skin of their teeth because Leicester didn't win against Tottenham. They lost to Villa, but overall, that period where they kept clean sheet after clean sheet after clean sheet, they created chance after chance after chance, and one just missed all of them. They still managed to get top 4, and now bringing in Lukaku, he's going to bag a load of goals, and I feel like that could be the difference to propel them into the winning spot, especially if they get the likes of Koundé, who's been mentioned a lot. If they swap in with Zuma, it could be crazy. Obviously, their defence, I feel if you single them out, they're probably quite weak. You've got Thiago Silva as the best, but then you've got Rudiger. Reece James is good. You've got Azpilicueta, a bit old, and together, though, as a unit, they defend well and they keep clean sheets. That's why I feel like they can just grind out results like they did last season. They've got a better goal scorer. They can score a load more goals. And if they get, like, Koundé, it just improves their defence even more. Tuchel as well, with a transfer window behind him, he could do an absolute madness. So for me, Chelsea are the Premier League 2021-2022 winners. Now we'll get on to the full table. In the Europa League spaces, we've got Leicester 5th. I feel like they did really well against City. They can have the odd upset against the big teams this season coming because they're a quality side, but they might just be a little bit off United, obviously, with injuries, which the team seem to get. It does weaken them a bit. They've really strengthened with Daka coming in. That Sumre looked really good. And they've got Ricardo Pereira back, so I think it'll be another good season for them. Another trophy, maybe, I think so. But for me, they finished 5th. And then 6th, we've gone with Spurs. And the reason we've gone with Spurs is maybe this is if Harry Kane stays. They've got Son, potentially bringing in Lautaro Martinez. They're bringing that Romero, so they probably need to bring one more defender in to strengthen their defence. I feel like Nuno, yes, he's not like a world-class manager, but he might be able to get the best out of the likes of Doherty, stuff like this. Dele Alli, I don't know. He might have a good start, but he just seems to be a player who just downs tools all the time for every single manager. So for me, they can just scrape 6th. They might come 7th. Then other teams I've got below them, we've got West Ham 7th, Villa 8th, Leeds 9th. I feel like these teams are the teams that are really good clubs who have had good seasons, and Villa especially is building. I think we can be 8th, possibly maybe 7th and get that Conference League, but we are definitely going to improve on the 11th space, and it will be interesting to see how we deal with Grealish, but I feel it'll be a more complete team. West Ham, I think if they get the likes of Oxlade-Chamberlain, who's been mentioned, or even just replace Ben Rama with Lingard's spot, they could still do well. I don't think they'll quite get the Europa League, but they'll be around the 7th and 8th position. And then Leeds, I mean, last season was amazing. Smashed the Premier League on their return. Incredible stuff, and I think they'll do it again. 9th place, one above of last season, and fantastic. And that does mean I think Arsenal finish 10th. Yes, the documentary is going to go to crap, and they're going to be disappointed. And this is because I just feel like Arsenal, their pre-season's been terrible. Aubameyang isn't firing. I feel like Aubameyang isn't going to fire again. He's kind of like the Ozil where he's took a contract. That's it. They're going to be relying on Smith Rowe, Saka to save them games. But in these ones where the teams are more confident, I'm saying like a Brighton versus Arsenal where they just put it to them, put them under pressure, I feel like they will crumble. Their goalie, Leno, he can make a mistake. Obviously, Ben White will help them defensively, but I just feel mid-table-ish, they might reach 9th maybe or 8th. But for me, they're mid-table and they're no longer like in the top 6 conversation for me. And then down the bottom, we've got the likes of Palace, Southampton, all these teams. I think Newcastle will just survive because they have signed Joe Willock now. Great signing for them, and he was incredible when he went on loan to them. I think Crystal Palace, with Vieira, he's kind of an unknown manager. Or not an unknown player, but an unknown manager. I don't know how he's going to do, so I feel like they'll just be flirting with relegation, but not quite go there. And the likes, I think they signed that Gallagher, didn't they, on loan? They've made some okay signings. They've got Eze, Zaha, they should survive. So yeah, that is my Premier League table predictions. Now on to the special awards. So we're going on to the Golden Awards, the Golden Boot. I think there's a few candidates. You could go with Lukaku, who's going to be incredible. You could go with the Harry Kane if he goes to City. I'm going to go with Salah because I think Liverpool will be on fire. Salah last season was incredible, carrying Liverpool through their kind of dry, crap period. And I think he'll do it again. And with Liverpool being back to their full strength, he'll score a few more goals and get that Golden Boot award. Simple as that. Then we're going on to Golden Assist. Now this is between 2 people for me, maybe 3. De Bruyne, Trent, maybe Robertson, but obviously, he'll be out a few games at the start of the season. I think Trent will be back to his best, especially with Henderson being able to cover his position and not playing centre-back. He'll get a load more assists and be competing with De Bruyne for that Golden Playmaker award. It's going to be one of them two, but I'm going to back Trent on that one. And then, for the most clean sheets, I think Chelsea will grind results, kind of like City did last season. Also putting a few shows together when they're beating like 5-0, 4-0 teams. Or I think it's going to be Mendy, the goalkeeper, keeping clean sheets. It could be any of them top 4, Liverpool, Chelsea. Maybe even like a Leeds or Villa, someone like that. Leeds league goal, what man about there. But yeah, for me, Mendy, I think Chelsea are just solid, especially if they bring in Koundé, they'll be even stronger. And they're going to be a fantastic team. They're definitely going to get top 4. I mean, it'll be a shock if they drop out the top 4. That's terrible. And Tuchel probably deserves to be sacked. And then we're going on to Player of the Season. Player of the Season for me is going to be De Bruyne. And the reason I'm going to pick De Bruyne is because even when City are in the crap, he's the guy who just carries them out. He will pass the ball through the lines, finding people, even if they don't score. He's trying his best. He'll score free kicks and he'll drag City back into games which sometimes, they might feel like they're not going to win it. And I feel overall like he does get player rewards a lot, doesn't he? It's either going to be him, maybe Salah. Could it be another defender? I don't know, unless Van Dijk or Diaz have an insane season. I think there could be other ones like a Bruno, a Sancho, but I think De Bruyne overall, as long as he stays fit, because he does occasionally have a few injuries, he'll be the player of the season. And now we're going on to surprise package, and I'm going to back Brentford the Bees. They've had a great championship. Ivan Toney being incredible, and I've put them 14th. They could maybe go a bit higher than that, but I think 14th is still for them a surprise package. They've been incredible. I think the attack of Mbeumo, De Silva, Toney. The defence might be a bit shaky, but I think they'll score a lot of goals and outscore the likes of Norwich, Watford, so they'll stay away from that relegation, comfortably be away from the edge of relegation, and yeah, have a decent season. Ivan Toney really is the main guy for me. I'm expecting him to have like a Bamford season. If he doesn't, then they could well be down out. But they are my Premier League predictions, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.